welcome back to another video. So today I was just sitting here and I was coloring using some of my color combinations that I shared with you all in a previous video. If you've not seen this video, I will link it in the upper right hand corner so you can go and check that out. First, I was working in Romantic Country and I colored a page in there. I'm going to show you that. And then I pulled out Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basfords and I colored a leaf in there using a couple of the color combinations and just putting some of the colors together. So today I'm going to do a tutorial showing you how to color an autumn leaf. The exact leaf that I colored in here, I'm going to do another one so that y'all could follow along step by step. Everything that you see me use in this video, I will have linked down in the description box below, as well as links to my Etsy shop, my Facebook group, and my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you want to find more information out about that, you could just click the join button down below. Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and show you the page that I was coloring here in Romantic Country. These are just some of the things that I colored. I did this pine cone here and I did these mushrooms using the color combinations on this sheet here. These sunflowers were done using this color combination here, and then the leaves on the sunflowers were done using this color combination here. And I really like how they turned out. And then the pine cone, I did this one using this color combination here, the green ochre, the artichoke, and the ginger root. And I do want to mention that I noticed a mistake that I made in the video that I did previously where I shared these color combinations. This one here, I wrote down mineral orange. It was actually pumpkin orange. I'm pretty sure I said it right in the video, but when I went to go write it down, I just wrote the wrong name down. That's why this is scratched out, and then I just put pumpkin in here. I was just looking at this and I was wondering why on earth this was so much lighter than this and I had the same name. So I just wanted to mention that just in case you were a little bit confused. And then I colored in these mushrooms here. They're not yet finished, but I'm pretty sure that I used this color combination here, the henna, the nectar, and the seashell pink. And then I decided that the henna was not dark enough, so I went and grabbed Tuscan red and I added that in here as well, and I love the way that it turned out. Okay, so I colored those the other day, and then today I took out Enchanted Forest. This book is so old. I think I've had this book for probably, goodness, 7 years now or more. But I pulled it out and I just wanted to color some leaves in some autumn colors. And so I colored this one right here. Now in that video, I told y'all that you can feel free to take some of these color combinations and put them together. Even use one color combination, then take a color from another one, like I did in the mushrooms that I just showed you, and add that in there just to create a little bit more depth. You could add a darker color, you could add a lighter color, you could even pull out other colors from your Prismacolor set and add them to these color combinations. You don't always have to stick with just 3, but I know a lot of beginners or some of you that are just discovering this hobby follow my channel, so when I do color combination videos, I like to keep them to just 3 colors because I know that some of you that watch my videos that are a little bit more advanced, you will take advantage of that and just go with your own thing, use these as a guide, and then throw in some other colors, whether they be lighter or darker. But that's what I do when I use these color combinations. I always combine them and throw in other colors, take colors away, switch out colors, and to me that is just all of the fun in creating a plan for your coloring pages, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy the most. This is the leaf that I colored right here, and I loved the way that it turned out. So there is another one right here that is exactly the same as this one. So I'm going to show you how this all came together, how I laid the colors, and what colors I used. So I do have 6 colors here, and the first one that I used was this mineral orange, the yellow ochre, and the jasmine. So I have the mineral orange, the yellow ochre, and the jasmine here. So then I decided just to grab some other colors that I have on here, and I believe one of these I don't even have on here, but I went and threw it in anyway. So I've got pumpkin orange to add to this color combination. I looked at this one over here. That's when I realized I had made a mistake. But I pulled the color from this one over here and I thought it would be really pretty with the mineral orange. So I added that one in there. This one I don't think I even used, but Crimson Lake is a gorgeous red color and I thought my autumn leaf needed some added red. So I added in the Crimson Lake and then the dark brown. I did use dark brown as one of my colors. It was in this color combination here, but I'm going to throw it into this one. And that's going to help me to create a lot of added depth and dimension, as you can see here in this leaf. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lightest color, the jasmine, and I'm just going to lay this color wherever I think it'll look pretty. And as you can see in this one, I did use some of the white of the paper. So I'm going to leave a little bit of the white of the paper and try not to go in all of those areas. And remember, this will also act as a first layer. The next color I have is yellow ochre. So I'm going to lay this color and I'm going to blend it right into some of those areas where I laid the previous color, or the jasmine, and I'm staying out of those little tiny areas there where I wanted to keep some of the white of the paper. And you may see me take my other colors and go right over this color, because again, this is just acting as a first layer, and in some places I want to have a blend of two of the colors. Now I am going lightest to darkest. So the next color I have is the mineral orange, and I'm going to start adding some of the mineral orange in here. And I am laying this mineral orange right over some of the other colors so that I could create a blend of those two colors. Now I have the pumpkin orange. This is so teeny tiny that I hope that y'all could see what I'm doing. I'm going to try to hold the pencil so that y'all can see. So I'm probably holding the pencil a little bit different than y'all usually see me holding it. But I don't want to block what I'm doing. I want y'all to be able to see it really clearly, and that's always a little bit difficult when you've got these little tiny pencils. But I'm coming in and laying the pumpkin orange right over some of these other colors. So my next color is this Crimson Lake. And I have turned the book a little bit. I'm hoping that y'all are able to see this really well. I'm taking the Crimson Lake and I'm using this in some of the spaces here on the outside of the leaf. And I'm not going to add this everywhere because I want to use some other colors as well, just to create a combination of some of the colors. And I'm also going to use this going up the center. And we'll have to see which one of these turns out looking better. Sometimes I will work on some color combinations without filming it, and then I will come back and I'll do a video, and I'll end up liking the one that I did that wasn't filmed more than the one that I filmed for y'all. So this time I did it a little bit different, and y'all can actually see the leaf that I practice on. Now I have the dark brown, and I'm going to lay a little bit of this color right in here on the edges of the leaf, and then down in here. And I'm using this brown because I want my leaf to have quite a bit more depth, but I do think that I probably want to have a good blend of these two colors. So I'm mixing the dark brown with the Crimson Lake. So I'm going to go right over this with the Crimson Lake. And the blend of the two colors creates a really dark red. And I just love how that looks. And so now I can come back and I can add a little bit of orange into these areas as well. I think I might use the pumpkin orange to do that. So let me grab the pumpkin orange. And I'm just going to blend this color right into the other colors. So if you look at this one, you could see that I did sort of drag the red, or create a blend of the red, which is the Crimson Lake, with the pumpkin orange. This is a blend of those two colors right here. And that is why I wanted to go around the outside and blend the dark brown with this Crimson Lake, because I wanted it to be much darker, so that when I pulled the Crimson Lake down into the leaf, it would create a really cool look and just a little bit of a different color, so that there was a separation between this area here and this area here. So I'm going to come in here and start adding some of that Crimson Lake, and I'm going to do this very lightly, and I'm only pulling it through in certain places. Definitely not going to do it everywhere, but I do want to go over some of these areas here because I did do that in this other leaf, but I'm also going to use the brown to do this as well. And then I'm just going to blend all the colors out, because I think when you do that, it makes the veins in the leaves look much darker, and it gives a little bit more depth to your leaves as well. Okay, so I'm going to go over the veins of the leaf, and I'm just going to pull the red up just a little bit here. And you can see that I did do this in these areas over here on the other leaf as well. And I'm going very lightly because this color is rather dark. Oh gosh, now I'm going to use my little tiny pumpkin orange, and I'm going to create a blend of those two colors and pull it upward just a little bit. And I am using this color to blend out some of these other areas where I've laid the Crimson Lake and the Pumpkin Orange to create a blend of those two colors. And again, I'm trying to stay out of where I wanted to keep that white. And I laid quite a bit of the red in here, so I'm trying to pull that down just a little bit. So I think it's time to start coming back with our yellows. I've got the yellow ochre, and I need to start blending out some of these colors here. I'm just going right over all the other colors just to create a really pretty blend of the colors. And this isn't my lightest yellow, so in some areas I'm not going to pull it all the way through. I'm going to use the lightest yellow I have to do that. I think I might have gone into some of the areas where I wanted to keep the white. And if you ever do that, you don't have to worry about it because you can always come back with a Posca to add it back in. Now I have the jasmine, and this is the lightest yellow. And I'm going to go over all these other colors and pull them in to the center. And again, I'm leaving that white right there where I originally wanted it. But you do want to have a really good blend and then just have that white peeping out. Like right here, I've got a little bit of white peeping out. And right here, I have some more white peeping out. I always like to use my lightest color as my blending color, rather than using the white Prismacolor. I used to use the white Prismacolor all the time as my blender or to burnish the colors out. And I've stopped doing that just because I feel like it makes it look way too waxy and puts a white film over my colors, and then I always have to come back and use my darkest colors to go back over it to bring the color back, and so it's just creating another step for me. Okay, so we're going to finish by adding a bit more depth to the leaf. I think I like the red down this center more than so much brown like I did on this other one here. And then maybe let's add the pumpkin orange in there as well this time. So I'm changing it up just a little bit from what I did in the other one. But I do want to come back with the brown, and I want to create a little bit more depth in some of these other areas like the outside of the leaf. And then here where the veins are, I think I want to add some more color. So I think I probably stopped on the other one when I could have came back and added quite a bit more depth. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and do that. But if you remember previously, I came back with the crimson red, and I went right over this because I want the colors to really be darker, just to create that separation there, and I want the colors to look more red rather than brown. Now, of course, you can have brown in your autumn leaves, but for this leaf, I wanted it to look more red. So I wanted to create a blend of those colors. And now I'm going to come back with my pumpkin and add a little bit more of that in there and just blend those colors out just a little bit more. Okay, so I think I might want to make this one just a little bit different than this one. And I want to come in here and just add a little bit more Crimson Lake. And I'm just layering this color right over some of the other colors. And you can see that the paper is still taking layers and it looks really pretty. Now see when I add this right over here, because I don't have a blend of the Crimson Lake and the dark brown, it looks much redder. And that was my whole reason for doing that on the outside. But I just really wanted this over here to look like a much darker red. So that's how you can play with your color combinations and create a whole different look. On whatever the object is that you're coloring, you can change it up so that your leaves don't always look exactly the same, but yet they have the same colors in them. And then remember, always come back with your other colors and blend those colors out. So you would just go to the next lightest color in your color combination to do that. And I really love how this turned out, and I love the extra added red in this one as opposed to the other one. But I do need to come back with my lightest color. Right here you can see that I have a lot of red and it's pulling it right here into these other colors, but it's not blended out really well. So I'm just going to go over that just a little bit. And then I'm going to use this lightest color, or the jasmine, to create a final layer. But do you see how that one looks just a little bit different than this one? It has just a bit more red in it, so it is a little bit darker. And now I'm just coming back with my dark brown, and I'm just going over some of the areas just to create a little bit more depth with this one. And I love how the brown looks over some of those other colors. It's really pretty. And then of course I want to come back and just go over where that brown is and add just a little bit more of color in there. So if you look at both of them now, you can see that this one, I think, has a little bit more depth than this one does. They're both really, really pretty, but I really like how I changed up the colors as I went and just sort of went with some of my ideas that I had as I was coloring. I thought it would be fun to just grab my Posca and add a little bit of highlights in here. And I didn't use the Posca on the other one, so we'll be able to see the difference that it makes. And you all know I like to use my finger just to spread that Posca around. So that one just looks a little bit different than this one, but they're both really, really pretty. I didn't use any Posca on this one. I just mainly used the white of the paper. This one probably has a lot more highlights, or the natural highlights where I just used the white of the paper, and then I used a lot of my lighter color, and here I used a lot of my darker colors, and then I came back with the Posca. So those are just some ideas that you can do just to change things up and make your color combination look a little bit different just by using some of the darker color rather than more of the lighter colors. So I hope you all enjoyed this video on how to color autumn leaves. I know a lot of you had asked me to use my color combinations in a coloring book, and I always like to do that. I actually went with this coloring book at first because there were some pages in here where they had more leaves that looked more like autumn leaves, but then I found these leaves and thought they would be really pretty because they had the outline there. And a lot of times I feel like a lot of us look at these pages where Johanna creates her leaves and then she puts the lines on the outside, and some of those, I don't know, I think they tend to be a little bit more overwhelming. I know when I was very much a beginner, I stayed away from those leaves because I was like, I don't know what to do with like that outer edge there. Do I color it the same color? Do I act like it is just part of the leaf and forget the lines? And you can really do it either way. You don't have to create that separation there at all. I think I did another video a while back where I showed you how to just act like those lines are not there and then just color in your leaf. I can't even remember which video it was, but I know that I did it. If I find it, I'll make sure I link it in the upper right hand corner. But everything that you've seen in this video will be linked down in the description box below. And I also will have my color combination video linked so y'all can go back and view that if you haven't seen that one, so you can get a lot of fall or autumn inspired or even Halloween inspired color combinations. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.